A creepy customer was trying to hit on me earlier. I work at a hotel, and it's not always fun. I get to meet all sorts of people, but there's one guy that really gets under my skin. I guess you could call him a regular. He comes in pretty often and is always looking to flirt with the staff, but not in a good way. He's kind of creepy. Whenever I'm on the 3 to 11 shift, he comes in pretty drunk and just tries to chat me up. Honestly, I hate it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I get really blunt with him. Maybe even a little rude, but he doesn't seem to get the hint. I've made it very clear, we're not allowed to date guests, but he still tries to act like it's possible. One night he comes in, super drunk, and starts making comments about how I've never snapped him on Snapchat. This isn't new to me, it's pretty typical from him. The last time he stayed, he even left his Snapchat for me. Like, seriously, who does that? I just tossed his note right away. I have a policy of not dating guests, so it's definitely not going to happen. Anyway, I told him again, we weren't allowed to date guests and left it at that. This guy was being especially persistent this night. He starts complaining again that I never snapped him back. I can tell he's super annoyed with my, we can't date, answer. This time, he tries a different approach. He figures that since he can't get my attention, he'll try the housekeeper. That day's housekeeper was Peaches, she was super nice. And I mean nice to a fault. The next morning, he comes down to the front desk while I'm on my shift. So what does Peaches look like? He asks me with a smug look on his face. I'm sorry? I say back. It's so ridiculous, like he thought I'd be willing to spill gossip about another staff member to him, a drunken guest. Peaches, the housekeeper. He tries again, with a touch of irritation. Round and fuzzy? I joked, and I'm pretty sure I could feel my face getting red at that point. The entire exchange felt very awkward. I'm usually pretty tough when I'm on duty, but I couldn't keep up my act with this guy. No, you beeping idiot. The beeping housekeeper, he said. Is she black or is she white? I know he wasn't trying to be mean, but I was honestly stunned. This guy is just not my type at all, and even so, he's rude to be asking that kind of question. I didn't understand his need to ask that. I tried my best to stay professional. All of our housekeepers are lovely, I managed to squeak out. Okay, whatever, he says before walking off to do whatever sad, little job it is that he has. I can't believe this guy. That's it, I'm done with this guy. I need to tell Peaches what's going on. He is seriously messing with the wrong housekeeper. I have to warn her. I didn't even bother to walk to her room. I practically ran. I burst through the door, super excited to tell her. You won't believe this. I was so excited, spilling all the tea to Peaches, my face hurt from smiling so much. Her first question? Is he black or is he white? That's when I lost it. I swear I must have had the most surprised expression, kind of like a beeping Pikachu face, if that makes sense. She then proceeded to give me her number. It turns out, this is her burner phone, a secret phone for situations like this. She was totally cool with it and gave me her number, so that he could contact her if he wanted to. I'm starting to think that this is why they call him a regular. I guess maybe everybody's got different tastes. This whole thing just cracks me up, and it's definitely something I'm going to keep telling everyone about. This was an awesome story. Next story. I rushed to help my suddenly ill dog, but the on-call vet berated me over the phone. What should I do? I'm a mom, 42 years old, and my 12-year-old dog has been having liquid diarrhea for 3 days. It's been a mess. He's had a hard time keeping it under control, and I can't sleep in my bed because he wants to cuddle with me. So, I've been sleeping on the floor. I thought about putting him in his crate, but he gets super anxious. He was already having a rough time. It was clear he needed my help, so I decided to just stay close. It's been tough. My dog is still in good shape for his age, but he's not a puppy anymore. We took him to the vet on Monday, and they gave him some medicine for diarrhea and a powder to help his tummy. They took a poop sample to check, and they thought it was just a tummy bug. The vet said it was common for dogs to have a bit of an upset stomach, and he should get better in a couple of days. They told me to wait it out. I felt hopeful, but the next few days, things got worse. It was as if he hadn't gotten better, but rather worse. By Tuesday, it was pretty clear he was struggling more. Then last night, I saw something that really scared me. There was blood in his poop. My dog was still eating and seemed playful, but his diarrhea was getting worse, not better. I know, it might seem silly, but the blood was really worrying me. My dog had always been healthy, and it was scary to see him not feeling well. I was exhausted, but at midnight, I called the vet on call. I just wanted to know if I needed to drive to the emergency vet clinic, 2 hours away. I was prepared to make the drive, it was just that it would mean going on just an hour of sleep and potentially spending a lot of money if it wasn't necessary. That's when the vet on call made me feel like a jerk. She yelled at me for calling about diarrhea. She said I was wasting her time because she couldn't do any tests at that hour. I was just trying to be careful and get advice. It wasn't like I was asking her to diagnose my dog or prescribe medicine. She was being rude, like I had called her for fun. She practically told me to stop bothering her, unless my dog was about to die. Honestly, I was pretty upset. It felt like she didn't understand I was worried about my dog, especially after I had gone to my regular vet twice in the past couple days and gotten medication. It was late, and I just needed some reassurance from a vet, since the 24-hour emergency clinic wasn't picking up. It was a short call, just a couple of minutes. But she yelled at me for 7 straight minutes. I felt like I was being attacked, and my anger boiled over. I ended up yelling back. After all, that's what she was paid for, to help with emergencies. What was the point of having a vet on call if they were going to treat people like this? Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I called about something I shouldn't have. I was tired and definitely stressed. But I was worried about my dog, and it felt unfair that she was giving me such a hard time for just asking a question. I'd followed the advice from the regular vet, but my dog didn't seem to be getting better, and then there was the blood. What was I supposed to do? I never asked her to diagnose my dog or prescribe medicine over the phone. It was a simple question: should I drive to the emergency vet clinic? I figured that wasn't a big ask, and if I decided to go, I was willing to drive the 2 hours, even on just an hour of sleep. To be honest, I had already followed up with my regular vet twice. Once I went in myself, and another time the vet called me back. The vet on call got angry that I called during the night. But what else could I have done? My dog had gotten worse, there was blood, and it was nighttime. I felt like I needed a professional opinion to know what to do. So, was I the jerk for calling the vet on call? And should I write a bad review about my experience? A few days later, good news. A lot of you asked about my dog, so I wanted to give an update. Turns out, it wasn't just a tummy bug. It seems like he had some parasites the vet missed in the first poop sample. He's on new medicine, and he seems to be doing much better. His poop is still not back to normal, but it's definitely getting better, and he's not leaking as much. He's even sleeping through the night and looks a lot more alert. This morning, he was even trying to play. He's a lot better. I talked to my regular vet before leaving a review about the vet on call. She told me that vet has a reputation, but she asked me not to write anything online about her. She said it wouldn't help, and it might hurt the clinic as a whole. She wasn't able to tell me details, but it sounds like this vet on call might be on her way out anyway. Good, that's for sure. When I asked my vet if I had misused the on-call service, she said that blood in the poop isn't usually a big deal for grown dogs. She gets a lot of calls about it when she's on call, because people often think it's worse than it usually is. People don't usually see these problems every day, like she does, so when they see it once, they're afraid. It sounds like the vet on call didn't like dealing with these types of calls. My dog got all the pats and scratches from everyone who asked for me to give them to him. He doesn't understand when I tell him about Reddit, but he did love the attention. Thanks for all the support. It meant a lot. I'm so relieved my dog is okay.